Hello? Is it working? Hey, everybody. I imagine it's probably, yeah, it's working now. I can see it. How's everybody doing? Today's been a little crazy day, not technically amazingly enough on this stuff. Usually there's something that gives me some headaches, but today it's, I had just the down cam had a problem, which is no problem now. But yeah, we are tired. We filmed, well, we've been back over a week, just over a week. And we both got con credit, of course, not during the con. I was like 4 or 5 days after. But Nikki got it, and then I got it. And so we've just been dealing with that. And then needing to film, we did film yesterday, and that is why we're tired. We started late. We had a friend that we wanted to have over for it specifically, and he wasn't available till the evening, and oh my gosh. So got a bunch of tired people last night. Hopefully the episode comes out okay. I do not like to film that way, but what are you going to do? People have things they got to do, and it's completely understandable. We really need to film more before we leave for BGGCon, which we leave in just over a week, about a week and a half. And that is going to be challenging. I mean, you know, it's just been tight. We've been home for 3 weeks and gone, and then home for 3 weeks and gone. And hopefully this break is a little while, but we had plans. Nikki and I are celebrating our 20th anniversary this year. I did not book anything. I kind of knew that it would be tougher to do, but I would have liked to have celebrated this in the time frame of our wedding, but did not happen. So, I mean, I don't think so. The truth is we do not want to travel. It's been, you know, we love to go to these events. We went to Texas Pinball Festival. That was where we were at in March, and then, you know, that was our first actual travel of the year, which was good, right? We actually often go potentially more than that, but this year we did not. But they just have been stacked, and you know, you think 3 weeks will be okay, but it's not quite. I was working on getting my palette going here, but we did play some fun stuff. But we are very excited about BGGCon because we're actually booking time to play some stuff with Nick and Mike Murphy, which will be awesome. We never really got to do that much with them when they lived roughly in the area, but then they moved a little bit north of us, west actually, but it is north on the freeway because we're in Southern California, and there's a big chunk of westbound traffic. And so we didn't get to see them that much, but we did see them relatively often passing games for our how to play videos, BGG how to play videos and in focus videos, but now that's all by mail. And we saw them in November, but not really. We went to an event at BGGCon and then maybe played one game, but we definitely saw them playing games. I don't know if we actually got to play a game with them. But we have 2 games planned, one of which we are super excited about. I knew Nick would be very happy to play it. So we'll do that. That's one that you'll see from us later. We're trying to figure out when that will go out because we want people to see it and we are excited about it. It's a little warm in here today. So it's been freezing. When I was talking to my mom, because I generally call her every night, especially when I'm away, and she's like, oh, it's gonna warm up. And we got here and it's been cold. Like the day before, maybe it was yesterday, I took a nap in the afternoon. No, it had to be the day before. It couldn't have been yesterday. I was freezing. I was in our room. I was still fully dressed, but I laid on the bed, and so then I didn't want to get under the covers with my shoes and everything. So I pulled on a blanket that we had sitting on the side and just put it over me, and I warmed up instantly, but holy cow was it cold. And then the next day, we're sweltering in here, and it's not even that bad. It's in the 80s, but that's still a little hot, especially for us where I don't really like to run air conditioning if I can help it, especially if I'm sick. I have gotten worse when I've run air conditioning, but we're doing pretty good, and it's been exciting. I did get some fun stuff for miniature making. The one thing I didn't bring out, and I want to, but I might as well not worry about it today since I'm not going to have time to really show you how it works. I have to get better at it, but I didn't back it. They didn't run a crowdfunding campaign, but there's a new company called Goblin Hobbies, which is eBay Miniature Rescue YouTube channel and Goobertown Hobbies, and they mentioned, I don't remember, it had to have been on Goobertown. I watch eBay Miniature Rescue, whatever it is, occasionally, but I did not. I'm pretty sure I saw it on Goobertown Hobbies. I like Brent. His stuff is, he's a chemist, and it's pretty interesting stuff when he does his things. So I was blown away by something that I saw that I knew as soon as I saw it was for nails, fingernails, right? Stamping. They were doing a new product that would kind of take the place of decals, and so I immediately went to their website and signed up to get notified when it was released. And so thankfully I did it, and I got it that morning, and I did not do it immediately. I was like, why didn't I go immediately after I ordered it? Now thankfully I got the order in, and it showed up literally the night before we left, which was crazy. And so we got to look at it, but we didn't get to play with it. And so when we returned home, we played with it a little bit, and I got to tell you, it's amazing. It is, the way it works is, so Nikki's not in nails. She doesn't get her nails done. So I've never seen this. It's supposedly been around for a while. I saw something about it 10 years ago. And these guys are not concealing that they are using this technology. They say use stamping nail polish, not gel. Gel needs to be cured. And so I was like, wow. And they're like, if there's any other colors you want to get, and I guess you'll still be able to buy colors from them. But right now, everything is sold out, which is a bummer. I'm sure everybody's very excited. There was a bunch of conversations about it after I thought they'd have a booth. They had a small space, but there were conversations about it at why am I brain? Adepticon. I'd like to go sometime. It's in Milwaukee now, I think. Yeah, Milwaukee, because the Brits were joking about Milwaukee, and like nobody got the joke. I'm like, I'd get that joke, but it would be awesome. It's a big con. It's a bad time of year. This time frame is just a lot of things, and it was basically the same time as the gathering, so maybe next year I can go. That's what we went to, is the Gathering of Friends. It's a convention started by Alan Moon, who designed Ticket to Ride and a bunch of other great games. And he still is part of it, but he has other fellows running it now. Folks, actually, a bunch of different people running it, which is cool. We know quite a few of them, and it was a fun time. We were not there the whole time. We got in on Saturday morning, I think. Yeah, because we flew out Friday from Dallas. And we only spent about 5 days there. So it would have been a little bit more beneficial to go longer. It almost always is, but we had other things we were going to do. And so that was fun too, though. So it was all worth it. I would love to go. They had these stamps on display in a table. I thought they would have a booth, but I can understand why they didn't have a booth when they didn't have that much product. Because I think they brought a limited amount with them to the con and gave some out. I was saying, the folks I was watching, it was on the Jugs podcast, which is Honest Gamer, and I think it's Honest Gamer, not Honest Wargamer, and Rogue Hobbies and Peachy Tips. They're all folks that have been involved with Games Workshop in some form or another. Rogue Hobbies is Louise Sudgeon. Was one of the painting personalities. She's really talented and pretty interesting. I do have her Pro Acryl paint set, which is great colors. And then Peachy was one of their on-air personalities as well. He left not much, I don't think much earlier, and then Louise left like a few months later, something like that. Maybe he had a little bit, he must have had a little bit longer time because he was on another channel called Painting Phase, which was actually pretty cool. But I think he just wanted to do his own thing, and so he did. And they show a lot of interesting stuff. They're kind of a little bit straying from the GW path, which is, hey, Amanda, which is smart. You know, I mean, it's smart to have it, but not be the entirety of it because there's just a lot of content out there, as we all know. So it was cool, and it was neat to hear them talk about coming to the U.S. Some of them, I think Louise she came out to a gaming event, so I don't know. She's afraid of flying, according to the podcast I watched. Peachy had been for David Peach is the name, I think. He had been for Games Workshop several times during like Games Days, which they don't have here anymore, I don't think. I know they don't. And then Rob he has streamed. He does streaming. He manages to run streaming events, or at least he used to. And so he would come to the States all the time to do that. So it was kind of cool to hear their impressions of Chicago and stuff like that, and to hear about it. And then when they mentioned that, I was really excited. I thought this, because they were like, it's great. And the really amazing thing was Peachy said that GW had tried to do this, this stamping thing. And I'm shocked it didn't work. But maybe they were kind of afraid of the needing polish, and you have to use acetone to clean the stamp. Oh, I didn't explain it. So what it is it's a etched plates, stainless steel plates that you put some of the polish on it, and then you scrape it off, and then you use a silicone stamp that they use all the time, and they're cheap to get from nail polish supply stuff. It's on Amazon. And you just quickly stamp it onto the stamper, and then try to clean it up very fast, because the paint that the varnish, the nail polish they use is very quick drying. You literally have like 10 seconds. And I mean, I've failed many times because I'm not fast enough. And then you kind of roll stamp it. You can stamp it directly, but you can also roll stamp it. But the stamp is actually hollow and clear, and the silicone is clear, so you can actually aim it. I mean, it's all genius because it's stuff that makes sense for nail polish and totally works for these minis. You know, the stamps are all like sci-fi and fantasy adjacent. I mean, related. They look very Games Workshop. They totally replaced decals. I think they aren't, of course, as intricate as decals potentially, because, you know, multicolor. You can do multicolor if you stamp. Well, first of all, you can stamp in white and then color stuff however you want, which is amazing. But you can also do multiple stamps. So it's pretty awesome. I look forward to fiddling with it. Obviously, it's not going to be something I'm going to use much here on the Marvel United stuff, but it is exciting. But I really want to play with it more. The other thing that I got in was, let me cut to the other camera. The downer is, for some reason, my software is not working to cut. Let me see here. Try it one more time. Nope. We use it like a little, basically it's like a little, it's called a Stream Deck, and it's from Elgato. And Elgato is my resin printer. And for whatever reason, maybe some updates or something haven't happened. I also backed this Kickstarter that was just a crazy mess. It's too bad. I honestly don't know how good it is. It's a nipper, and you know, some of the like high-end ones that people love, and I don't own one. I don't do Gundam or, you know, Gunpla, and so I don't trim as much. But like, there's God Hand plastic trimmers, and they are. I think that I would be too tough with those, that I would break them. I mean, I might be able to. I am nervous about stuff like that. I always try to take care of things, but it just seems like it's something that could easily happen. So this one, does it come out of here? I've not had a chance to really play with it. I mean, I didn't open it up. I did look at things. But the neat thing about this one is It is replaceable blades. You can actually replace both the anvil, which is this side over here, and the trimmer here. Now, they claimed they loved God hand nippers, and so you would think that it kind of follows that. I actually, in the Kickstarter, they like pinned my response. I am a super backer on Kickstarter. Not as much as I used to, but I backed a lot of stuff. I'm near 500. Nothing near Scott. Scott has backed like 2,000. I don't actually own the God hands. I find it hard to believe that you would have the angle of the anvil going, to the anvil going in. Like, how's that going to be flat? Like, you want to press this up against the miniature to trim it. Now, there is some ways to adjust it. I don't know how, it's a pretty interesting mechanism, but I don't know how solid it is. They give you STLs to print new handles. Maybe you can print them like in, I don't care about that, but you could print them in like I can't remember the type of filament that's elastic. But this is a cool device. It looks like it'll be okay, but I'm just one of those guys that is willing to stick it out to see what they do. And initially, the very first thing, I backed it right away. And the very first thing that went wrong is it cost $5 more than they said it was going to cost. They said what it would cost with shipping, and then it was $5 more. And somebody commented on it, and they said, we'll take care of that at the end of the campaign. And I commented on it because it didn't do it. So, $5 more makes it even more expensive than the God Hands one. But if it works okay, I'll be fine. But I said, look, can you show us, they kept the videos, they have all these like repeating videos of it cutting filament. I'm like, I don't care about filament. I want to know about cutting models off of sprues. And they did that. And then the pictures they showed were tiny. You couldn't zoom them because it's Kickstarter. And they damaged the side of the plastic. I'm like, how's this going to be good for people with gunplug? Because the point is you want it to be like a super clean cut that doesn't damage the plastic. We're going to see what this does. I have a feeling there's many things that can get in the way. Lots of people expressed concern, and the campaign just basically stalled. Now, they got a good amount of money, and maybe they're fine. I don't know. But I was disappointed that their picture that they decided, 3 pictures that they uploaded showed it, the plastic damaged. I'm like, what are you guys doing? And it came out at one point that there was, so that is not that smooth. Let's see if you can see it. Now maybe it can do it. I'm going to try one more time. Yeah, see, it cuts pretty great, but guess what? I damaged it there, right? Like, the edge of this stuff should protect it from doing it. Now, they give you a washer, but like, I feel that they milled this in the wrong direction. It should be milled this way, angling into making this a flat surface on here. So, basically, I've spent $75, I think is what it cost, to get an okay cutter, right? I can replace the blade, it'll be cool, but I also like the idea of cutting smooth against the miniature. Now this is an older model, right? That very old model. I think my friend Alf might have given me this. Let me see if I can get it to squeeze up there. But like, I don't want to damage the plastic doing it. Now, of course, I don't care about it on. Yeah, it's as good as any other trimmer that I already have, right? And I've used them for years. So, I have GW trimmers over here that are 20 years old or 17 years old, and they're perfectly fine. And they trim maybe even closer than these. I don't know, man. It's kind of a disappointment. I hate to be negative. I would love for them to get it right. I honestly feel they need to remill these blades. They've given me some. I paid extra. I got the deluxe kit. Where is it's in a bag. I forgot. There's like a cap that, cover that they give you for this that is 3D printed, and it's like, you basically have to shove it on. I didn't do that yet, but I could tell it was like, oh, this is going to be tight. So yeah, I should have brought that in here. I forgot. But yeah, it's kind of a disappointment. I mean, I kept looking at it and I'm like, well, I'll stick with it. But I knew as soon as I saw it, I'm like, well, this is what people were asking about. The very thing that we're asking about. Now, the one thing they do have, I mean, there's absolutely an edge there. They do not line up. The anvil is a good, probably millimeter away from the edge of this blade. They do give you a washer to stick in here to change this. So I imagine it has to go on the inside, but how can that be good? I'll try it, but I don't think it's going to solve the problem. They give you two of them. They don't give you any example. I mean, they never mentioned anything about that in the campaign. But I'm like, how foolish are these people? They claim to be gamers and do models. But yeah, this is absolutely at the wrong angle. Like, how can they do that? So there you go. I'm sure they're going to do these. It's actually Polar Lab. But somebody came in the campaign and said they had done another one like on Indiegogo or something like that and didn't deliver. Now, they're like, that was another branch of the organization, whether, I don't know. But I just thought, well, what the heck? I can afford to see. That wasn't a bad trim. I don't know. So there you go. Who knows? Maybe it'll be fine. It'll do the job at least partially. But like, I don't want to have to pull out X-Acto knives to trim these things. If I can help it, it's quite a disappointment. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll still buy a God Hand. I should have bought one and just gone with that. But whatever. This is replaceable blades. So, and actually, they give you two types of blades, which I don't think I even have. Let me see here, because you're supposed to get both. I don't even know what the coding is. Spare blades. Maybe these are the harder, like you can cut wire and stuff with these, and then these are the plastic. This is the anvil. I haven't opened these up. Let's see what they do here. Yeah, I don't know. It's a disappointment. This came while I was gone, of course. Like I got the shipping notice well before I left, and it was coming from here in California, and it might have even been based here, as far as supposedly the Kickstarter was based here. I mean, it's a nice idea, and it certainly can be resolved just by changing the angle of that. I don't even know if they know, but they had, I think, a couple $100,000 of funding, and it was radio silence. Like, you guys do not know what you're doing. Keeping your mouth shut. And in the deal, that's why I don't feel any regret in saying something that I'm not completely satisfied, because guess what? They should have dealt with it, and they should have listened to people. You know, here's the deal. It's just like anything else nowadays. It is not developed in the campaign. They shipped not too long after the campaign closed. So it was already done. And having something like this where the community knows exactly what they want and waiting to deliver that, not giving you that, is just ridiculous. I don't even understand. I feel like they dropped the ball. Now, again, I have never used God Hand trimmers, but like, I can show you one. I can't remember what they call these. But yeah, this is not, it's two blades, and they are two halves of the blade. They're both angled, and it is completely flat on the surface that you're going to hold up against the miniature. Completely flat. This is what they need to do. It is absolutely a disappointment. And I can't flip it. There's no way to like change the orientation of the blades. I mean, I don't think so. No, there's no way, because there's elements here that hold this blade in place. So the washers they give you, are they here? Yeah, they're right here. Oh, that's right. Here you go. I had seen some pictures some people took of what they got. So I think these are the plastic blades. I love that it's, they got these nice packages, and there was supposedly some issue that they weren't going to be able to give you, they're like, there's all these contradictory bits of information about what you're getting. I mean, this is like wrapped in a piece of gum wrapper. But this is exact. Oh yeah, this is different. Maybe this is the. It's got to be. This must be the. That must have been what happened. This must be the heavier gauge one to cut, although it doesn't seem thicker, but the blade is a much shorter cut. So maybe that's the stuff for wire. I probably won't use those. I wanted to order more. I asked them all kinds of questions, like how do we order more stuff? Because I just thought, well, I might as well get them in the campaign and maybe never need to order anymore. But interesting, one of these is taped and closed and one of them is not. So let me open these. So I imagine these are the same as what I have. So they did give us, basically there was some sort of manufacturer or supply issue and they didn't give enough. You're supposed to get 3 of each. One of them on the cutter, the nipper, and then one of them, 2 of them in the package for the, I guess the plastic grade one, and then 3 of the other, and clearly they flipped that. I mean, if that's correct. I mean, if I got more of the, I guess the heavy one would be fine, but it's not going to be as flat. It'll be even worse, I think. But yeah, it was really frustrating. Like, you guys don't seem to understand what I'm asking for, and then to have me be like the poster child with this comment and them showing how wonderful it is, and it's not. I had to actually go on my computer and download the images from YouTube, I mean from Kickstarter, to actually be able to view them, and it was still, they were terrible images. And if you go and look, you can see it. It's very clear. It's like, wow, these are gouging the plastic on the surface of the model. How's that any good? Why are you guys showing this? So to me, that means it was nothing. There was nothing I could do. Yeah. So that's 4 of. I got 4 of these. But yeah, what does this mean? BA24-3. It'd be nice to know. I know what it is, but you know what I should do is put all the blades in here, because at least I have something for them. I don't really. They're not going to fly around. This is like overproduced packaging to hold 3 little blades. The downer is I don't really care if I get any more blades. 4 will probably be enough. I don't know. It's a downer. And they really I don't think understood their, like, trimming filament. And the funny thing is I actually trim filament at an angle. So I don't care. I don't want it to be completely perpendicular cut to the filament. Well, there you go. So not too exciting. Not doing exactly what I thought it would do. And I was nice enough to, wow, that one was taped up and one was not at all. How bizarre. Anyway. I hope they figure it out. They can absolutely figure it out as far as I'm concerned. And maybe, actually, why don't we just try it? I got nothing better to do. So I'm going to try putting one of these washers and see what it does. And then I'll get to painting. I do want to paint. I'm really sad I didn't get to paint it all this week. What is this one? Spare parts. Oh, so another anvil, some screws, and another Allen wrench. Okay, that's interesting. Wow, the anvil is fat. Interesting, it actually has, oh, an angle, but that may be just for clearance or something. Has a bunch of serrated edge here, like it's stacked. Oh well, live and learn. But let's try and add one. Again, I'm guessing at what they mean by this. To me, it seems like that's what it is. There was a delay in production. You know, all the issues with manufacturing with China and stuff is just making everything worse, which is unfortunate. It's funny, I have another case floating around just like this, but I think it's clear plastic. So, I'm going to assume that's what it does. I cannot believe it will work, but maybe it'll be enough. They give you 2 of them. Wow. Am I going to strip this just pulling it off? Wow. This is insane. Do I want to do that? it's going to just make it have another piece that can scrape on the miniature. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of, the whole Kickstarter thing is really concerning. I feel, oh, you know what? It's the opposite direction. Boy, I'm a boob. Well, I'm glad I didn't strip it. That has to be on the underside. There's no reason for this to be on this side. So, wow, I'm glad I remembered that. Because I would have just strong-armed it until it shredded the nut, and it's not the screw, and it's not, thankfully, shredded. I had on our pinball machine, there was a part that just kept falling off. And so I don't think I told Scott about this. It was really dumb. And so to solve the problem, because it just kept falling off and I'd have to go inside the machine and put it back on, I used, wow, this is very thin. It's probably going to take 2 of these if this is what it's supposed to be for. So let's just do 2. I used Loctite, which, you know, hey, Loctite, you know, you just put it on. Well, I didn't know anything about about Loctite. I'm not used it for anything but something like that. And I know paint. I know. I'll get there in a second. I mean, this is miniature adjacent. I'm going to need it. So I used blue Loctite, and I got to tell you, do not use blue Loctite if you ever hope to take it off on something small. I completely had to do all kinds of grinding and everything to get the thing off, to then put on a new screw and nut to make it work. This actually has blue Loctite on it. That's crazy. Maybe it's a different kind, because I was reading somewhere that used purple. Purple is the mildest one, and but I could not get it off. It was really unbelievable, and how silly. And so I got it and fixed it, but I'll never do that again. Boy, this is weird. It's so counter to how I do things, going the opposite direction. Is this stripping it? Sure feels like it. Gosh dang it, this is a terrible, terrible design. Wow, it looks crooked. Let me just put this back on. I'm going the wrong way, trying to strip it. Doesn't seem like I'm going the wrong way. I mean, this is an engineered part for sure. Maybe that's it. That's the angle. I sure don't know. What is going on? It is. Does seem like it's going at an angle, and you know, it is going through some sort of Loctite. I honestly feel this is what they were hoping to solve the problem, but again, it is not the right. I'm not a mechanical engineer, but I can tell you this is not the way to do it. Okay, so it does make it flat. It does make it line up. Whether that makes it flat, I don't know. Let's try something here. But I feel this is an unneeded addition. I don't know. Is it doing it better? I don't know. Let me see if I have something else I can trim that's right here. That wasn't terrible. Yeah, but it is not the way it's supposed to be. Again, it needs to be flat. Flat, flat, flat. That is. It does make it line up closer to the anvil, the edge of the anvil, excuse me. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's part of the angles. I don't feel that is it though. It doesn't feel like it. It still feels like it leads away, so it's not flat. They could easily change this. It's so silly. Easily change it. Just flip the machining of this. Anyway, okay, let me try one more piece of spruce somewhere here. I got many things. Do I have anything that has anything on it right here? Not here. Oh, I have a whole bunch of stuff right here. Hold on. Right in front of my face. Okay. Some chaos stuff. I don't know what this is from. I really want to see this kind of thing. So, when I actually requested the images, it took them a while to do it too. I'm like, this is like something that can be done in a moment. Why is this not done? Took quite a few days for it to come up, I think. Yeah, I don't know. It seems okay. It definitely seems like it's maybe smoother. This is not. Actually, I need to put my other glasses on to see this tiny stuff. It is hot in here. Very, very warm. So I trimmed here, and I feel like it gouged into the plastic a little bit. Trimmed here. That's not so bad, but this is not it. I mean, this did not do it. And like, if I try to cut it the other way, it takes it off. Maybe these, I mean, they are delicate enough to do it, and that took that off pretty smoothly, but like, that's 2 cuts. Now, I've watched many YouTubers over the years do this. This is not a super, I don't know what this miniature is. I mean, it's obviously GW, but I don't know how old it is. It seems kind of not great molding wise, but it could also be just an older mold or older project, you know, older item that they did. It's not bad though there. That does work reasonably well. This is not good. It's a very thin piece of plastic, and it that it's leading up to where it connects. And but it isn't. Now again, hey, thanks for the follow. It's not showing up. Well, if you're here, say hello, and I'll thank you by name in a moment. It's weird. I actually ran the thing earlier and it worked, but I don't see it at all on here. I don't see it on anything. Wonder why we're not seeing it. Oh, you know what? Maybe no. Let me actually go and try to do it. Repeat it. Hey, Dyson Pixels, awesome. I think. Wonder why it wouldn't show up. It did earlier. There we go. I think the wrong thing is. Thanks, Dyson Pixels, for the follow. So yeah, it's GW plastic the plastic that they use is pretty good. I mean, for me, when it was cool, I watched a Miniac video from about a week ago or something like that, where he talked about plastic. He was actually talking about minis and what makes minis great. But he specifically talked about like this type of plastic versus this type of plastic, where when you try to clean this type of plastic, it doesn't separate from the miniature very easily. And believe me, it's very kind of, it's not that soft. These are the third wave of these minis, and these are a little bit better than they used to be for sure. The mold lines seem to be smoother. I haven't needed to clean as many yet, but we'll find out. I'm going to do some on it. Well, that was not bad. I don't know. Oh, the other one's right here. That one's a problem, because let me see if I can just trim it a little cleaner. What the heck? Yeah, that works. It's not great. It just took off a little bit more than I wanted. So it makes it, so it does cut like butter. It is legitimately very soft. Now this plastic, I don't know what the story is on this one. I don't remember this mini. I don't know if I was given this. It could have been that I was given this. Where is my file? Just had it a minute ago. But it does seem to have worked. It is better. I feel it's the wrong fix. Literally, all they have to do is mill that a different direction so that it is flush with this. It is weird though. You can see that they are kind of trying to make it, this is like angled, so maybe it's harder to do than I think. But this does work. So I suppose if you were going to buy one, it does feel like the material builds up as I'm going across the blade. So I think they could certainly try to make it go the other way, and then you just get rid of the washers and it'd be perfectly fine. So I may write them. We'll see if they even respond. They were responsive at the beginning of their campaign and radio silence by the end. But yeah, I knew it would be okay. I'm like, oh, anything would be fine. But like the amount of that it left before was not good. So this is pretty great in that regard. I mean, I hope that they get it right because I think it's a great idea. To me, I'm shocked. I actually looked for it when people had mentioned that they had done it before. I'm like, well, can I buy one right now? Very cool. Let's do one more. I gotta know. I wonder if this is when I trimmed off that sprue. Does it seem like the same plastic? It does. How did I do that one? See, I trimmed this with the GW trimmers, and I gotta tell you, it isn't bad. I mean, I don't know that you need to make that big of a deal out of it. Now, I've seen some of the trimming that they do on videos, and it's amazing. Like, I would love to be able to do that and not have to clean up that portion. Yes, cutting mold lines is off. You know, trimming them off is good. But it's minorly compared to like trying to pull off a big knob of plastic, you know. Let's see, where is that sprue at? Right here. I've made sprue glue. I've done that. I actually have always done that myself by just shaving plastic and then putting it on the Mini and then putting the glue in. I've done that for years. But the idea of actually just mixing it in and making the glue with the plastic that you're using is a great idea. I have not done it. I have 2 bottles of Tamiya cement I could do it with. Yeah, you know what? When I trimmed that one on the other cable or whatever it was, or the edge, it was cables. It was the injection point is. It is over the edge of the plastic that you're doing. It is harder to see because these are not 100% level. It is harder to see what is like the smooth cutting angle. Maybe just experience will solve that. There you go. It's not bad. The knives, the blades are very sharp. The blade is very sharp. So it probably will do most people good. And in the case of, here's the deal. This is why God hands are scary. $60 plus shipping. They are made in Japan. They're really nice. They look really nice. I've never actually held a pair. You break those, that's it. Because it's molded, you know what I mean? It's forged and shaped. And that would be terrible. $65 because you broke it. And I saw lots of people's issues with that. I'm like, oh wow, that's a bummer. That would be me. Okay, so just start with GW Miniatures. Do you glue them together or just trust the snap? This is T Ragedy 65. You know, I glue them. Now I will tell you. So here's a miniature right here that's fully disassembled. That you can pretty much trust the assembly, but I've had issues where they didn't really go together 100%, and so I've had to take it back apart and can I put that together? I mean, I should look at pictures. You know, they're not fully together. One of the good things about using a liquid cement like these is they basically weld the plastic together, and so those seams generally go away. You know what? I don't want to glue this together because I don't have the head in. I mean, you can do another one. You cut the little post off and just stick it in. But it is pretty great. This was actually, so this one here was a, you can see it actually. I didn't clean it up. This was a push they've been doing it a little while. We met with them last year at Spiel, in 2023, excuse me. We met with them last year too, but they told us that they had this new sprue breakdown. I don't have one right here, but I can show you one of the sprues. It seems like it actually uses less plastic too, potentially. So both of these were sprues that did this. And I had one that I didn't even know. Like I had done one already. I just clipped them off, didn't even notice. But they have these arrows. These arrows are where you're supposed to push on the miniature and it will pop off the sprue. And it does a pretty amazing job. And it looks pretty good. Like if it were a kid doing this, then it means he doesn't have to use an X-Acto knife or anything like that. I mean, I use all the time this older version of these that they have. This is a scraper that you're to clean mold lines, to remove mold lines. It doesn't hurt you. It's not going to poke you, but it does a great job of smoothing out. I guess I already did that. You can see where it injected here, but I might have done that. It's actually kind of a little too much of a scrape. It doesn't matter. Like you shouldn't worry about this stuff. I'm just a fool and worry about this stuff. But you just rub it with this and it takes it off. So it's not a bad thing, but it would be nice to just not have to do that as much as possible. Now this kind of needs it. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. I mean, I'm feeling it. I can see it, the distortion of the plastic, but I don't feel it. So that is awesome. So that's one thing they're doing to lower the barrier of entry. The other thing that they've done is speed paints. You know, it's really phenomenal method, and I've done the standard method, which is spray it white, light colored, and then put the finish over it, and it's great. But I still feel gluing is a good thing. Now, the one thing I will tell you about gluing, this is just probably just common sense. One of the issues is when you add the glue in, these are designed to hold together with just the friction of the plastic, right? When you add the glue, it actually makes everything thicker. So you can't get, I mean, it sort of can do it. Because it's so thin, this is a very thin, you would not want to use anything but cement like this. It squishes in there and it does a pretty good job. And often I will line, if I see like a little bit of a gap, I will put glue on there and then hold it in place. It dries pretty quickly. But putting glue in it means that it might not reach the full connection. You have to, this post needs to go inside this like perfectly for it to hold in place. I mean, I can do this, it doesn't matter. It is just a cool mini. This is one of the, I can't remember which set this is from. This is one of the GW's recent, wow, it goes like this. Let's see if that's correct. I don't want to do a guy's face. I'm going to do a helmet. So now this, I don't need to worry about it. It's going to go in there and it's going to stay. Is this the right one? Yeah, it is. It pushes in, it totally holds, and it's great. Now, one of the things you might want to do on this is not do that so that you can paint it and then put it together. So I might just do that. But I did distort the plastic going in. So, I mean, it's a snug fit. And so it should do a pretty good job of going together. And then you do the next one. This type of stuff would be good. And because of capillary action, you can hold the two pieces together and then run this glue, which is on a brush, along the edge, and it will you just do it very delicately, and it'll go in there, and it doesn't leave. Generally, you don't even see it, and it leaves a. I'm not always a painter of, breaking it down and then putting it together, but in this case, I think I want to try that on this one. It's something I've never done on much GW stuff, and GW is kind of the stuff mostly that I've done this type of build. I have a bunch of Shatterpoint and Marvel Crisis Protocol that I want to do, and you build those as well, so I'm excited to try those out. So, I mean, that's kind of the fun thing about the Marvel United. They're generally ready to go, but they're not. They glue these together as well. They are injection molded. They do leave mold lines. I make the mistake because when I build minis, I'm doing it all the steps. So I know to clean the mini, and I will foolishly not do it on some of these Marvel United minis, because I'm like, oh, it's assembled, I'm done, right? But no, you're not. I have to spend the time to actually, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do any of this stuff. It becomes really apparent when you paint them. That's why it's not a big deal if you don't paint these minis. Like, why would you need to trim this stuff? It's not going to be an issue. But first of all, I mean, of course, I love painting them. I'm hoping I'll get my DC United. They're saying fourth quarter now, if it even ships. I mean, I bet it will, but I don't know. Simon's having some issues, and I hope that they will pull through on this, because they do neat stuff. I have quite a bit. I don't have a lot of Zombicide. I have more of the Marvel zombies. Actually, Scott bought some, and he was able to give me a little bit. Like, I think I got the promo box, maybe? No, I don't think I got a promo box. I don't even know if they did a promo box. But yeah, you see, these don't clean as smoothly as the others do. And I don't know what kind of solvent dissolves this. Like, you could smooth some of that out by just running a bit of solvent over it. Like the glue or something like that. But I don't know what it is, and I don't think I can make it do it. But you can also just file these. It's probably better to file it than to try to shave it. But on top of that, it actually looks pretty good. It's much, let me see if I have a unpainted earlier one of these. I don't think I have any floating around. I do have some that are primed. Let me see if I clean these. Yeah, I mean, right here, you kind of can't see it, but it's right here, there's a mold line, and it's very visible when it gets painted. I don't know if you can see it. It's pretty fine. And if I were, yeah, there's a huge one right there on the bottom of the hammer. Now, I don't have to you don't have to worry about it. There's a whole bunch here, but it's very clear when you prime. You're like, oh, okay. When you start to paint, it becomes clear. There's some on the leg here, so I didn't do a good job. And that's an early one. That was a very early one that I still haven't painted. I mean, I've already painted it once, but I haven't painted the second and third ones. I think Scott might have already painted that one. That was Ronan the Accuser. But you really should do it. It does improve. It's something at least that you can aspire to do. Again, it is a challenge. It's not super easy. It's hard. It's actually hard to see it when it's all this colored plastic. I feel like I see it more on gray stuff. I don't know why. I don't know why that would even be possible. But they do a pretty great job of concealing. I mean, that's what's amazing about the GW stuff to me recently, is they do a pretty great job of concealing. They have things like wrap over to cover a mold line so that you wouldn't even see it. And these guys do a pretty good job. This is assembled in China, and you can see some of the things, like there's glue. What was the one that had glue on it? Maybe that was over. No, this is from over here. Was it this one? Oh, hey, these are the same one. There was one that had it like in a leg, and I saw the glue. I'm like, oh, it had to be this. I feel like this is the only one I've looked at, but there's no, the legs are all one piece. But they do a good job. They're fun to paint. I gotta say, I love how, I mean, obviously these are easier to manufacture than the GW ones with all of the joins and stuff like that. They do some simpler ones. That marine was more complicated than some of these other ones that I've done. I don't recall how hard this one was, but I don't think it was really terrible. Now, it was multiple pieces, and I did fully assemble it before priming it and painting it. But it looks cool. I mean, I'm really happy with the way these work. They're really, GW Minis, every time I think, other companies are catching up, although I haven't really looked at I have some of the, brain is off, Kingdom Death. because they do try to do very, very high level production. So I've seen some. I might have a mini that's out somewhere that was some parts, but I haven't really dug into it. I know that I'm not going to probably ever have any time to play the game. Although we have a friend that's kind of into that stuff, and he might be willing to do that stuff. He's also a big fan of painting the stuff, so you know, it's just another bunch of stuff to paint. But I did play DC Order. Yeah, looking forward to painting them. Yeah, I'm the same. I hope they make it. They keep giving us updates. It looks like they're going to do it. So what happened, if you don't know, they announced 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, I think it was still in Dallas, or maybe even at the Gathering, that they let go of a bunch of people developing games. So, you know, a lot of their stuff is done in-house. Not entirely, but I mean, some companies are essentially in-house. They're probably contracted. And that's a total bummer. It means that they won't be doing any new games for a while. And they have basically rolled from Kickstarter to Kickstarter, and we ordered DC United, Heroes United on GameFound, and they've taken that money and helped make, you know, it's kind of you take this money, some of this money to help finish this next project. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem like it's a great idea, but I bet that happens more than we think. And so now they're going to focus on getting these games out, but like none of them are paying, right? Now we may, to get these DC United, because of the tariffs situation, we may have to pay extra once it gets finished for them to ship it to us, that additional stuff. Because I believe we've already paid for the shipping in the backer kit or whatever. They have their own crowdfunding manager, pledge manager. So I'm hoping I get it. I'm very excited to actually do some of the DC figures. They seem like they're larger scale even than these, which is crazy. Because this guy, let me see, this guy Immortus, right? Let's compare him to. I mean, you know, I don't know the story behind Immortus, but they're not that much bigger. It's just he's got a big, some stones he's floating on. Anyway, so what I've been doing on this, let me put these things away. What I've been doing on this was I figured out, I know about layering. I'm not a fine artist where you would do that kind of stuff regularly, but it's funny, I've almost always airbrushed things like this. I did do, when I was in college and high school, I did do work that used blending, but I didn't do necessarily any kind of layering. And I used this, I figured out this where I used, so the undercoat is gray, you know, the multiple color primer. I do black, then gray, then white. You can just do black, then white. Uncle Adam on Tabletop Minions just did a video a week or so ago, I think, where he did one where he used sponges to do it, makeup sponges to do the zenithal highlight. It looked pretty good, but it was very hard to get into spaces. And he was talking about doing it where instead of doing that to get the texture and then, I guess on the black, and then zenithal highlighting with white. Anyway, so you can do that. You can do it that way. And then what I did is I used this color here, which is called Moonlight Coral, one of the Speed Paint 2.0 colors. And it's great. And here it is actually just painted on the mini. It's not 100% correct. Oh yeah, painted minis absolutely help. So this one here, this is just the color, you know, kind of thrown on it as carefully as I could. I noticed that there's a little bit here, it seems to be missing color. So I'll probably touch it up a little bit with this. Then I used this, I purchased all of the fluorescent colors that Pro Acryl has, and this fluorescent purple is great. And so what I did is I thinned this out very thin, like lots of water. I don't know what the ratio is, but it's barely putting any color on. And I just keep building it up. It's glazing and layering are the names of that kind of technique. Layering is different. Glazing is, they're not exactly the same, but it is kind of that idea. And I just kept building it up till it gives me these really kind of bright highlights. It really looks great. Now, I intend to do a wash over this, and maybe it'll just be a thinned down version of this with some of the medium, the speed paint medium. I have done a tiny bit of it and I wasn't blown away with the result. Oops, let's chip it. But it looks really neat. And it'll definitely dull down the intensity of the fluorescent pink, purple, whatever what is it? Say purple? Yes. But you can also bump it back up afterwards as well, and then varnish. I did get some on his thumb. And notice, hey, there's some mold lines I didn't do a very good job with. How did I do on this one? This one's about the same. I'm just not, I need to like really look at them. There's like a whole line right there that's right up front. It's going to be super visible. How did I do on this one? Same thing there. The sleeve, did I do the sleeve here? Nope, you see they're the same. I just don't catch all of the mold lines. You really have to, basically what you probably should do is prime it the black, although I'll tell you black is going to hide it, so that's probably not it. But I think you kind of think you should paint it. There's a thing that they do when you paint like cars and stuff like that, potentially. If you're dealing with a surface that is not perfectly smooth, you paint it the primer, then you spray on a light contrasting color, let's just say black over white, just ghost it on very quickly, and then you sand it down. It needs to be on every part of the surface, but then you sand it down and you're sanding right through that darker color to the lighter undercoat, and you see immediately where there are divots and any kind of problems. Number one, if it's poking out, sanding it, as long as the primer, you might have to reprime it, but you can smooth it out there and you can tell. But yeah, there's a way to do that, and anyway, so I do want to do this. I think, what is going on there? So I think I got a little glob of paint here. It's not going to be a problem. It might even just be plastic. But it looks cool. I really I'm very happy with the end result there. It's not done, so we'll see how this goes. I mean, we really should try, before I go any further, to see about doing it with to smooth everything out. I don't know that I want to use, I almost feel like I should use a standard acrylic, but I don't know that I have any colors like that. I have some stuff here. Let's see, what's this color? Wyvern. There's not enough purples in this set. This is Basilisk Red. I actually need to mix these. I've promised myself, of course I haven't been around, that I'm going to just remix paints, mix the paints regularly. Mage Cast Magenta. So I bought a 50 paint set of the War Paints Fanatic stuff, and they're pretty nice. I don't have a lot of standard acrylics anymore. I have some. So let's do this with the, I wonder if I should just thin it with water or with the varnish. I think I did it with the varnish. Maybe I do it with the glaze. Let's see here. One thing I want to check. I'm going to look up something here. Actually, I should see what anybody says. I do lots of looking and seeing what people have to say about there's so much stuff on the web. It's crazy. When I started painting, there was definitely stuff out there, but meaning there was content out there, but it wasn't necessarily video. I mean, YouTube did not exist when I first started painting minis in the early 2000s. But there was some stuff out there that like would put links to videos somewhere. But once YouTube did it, it really became widespread out there. It's really great. And it's fun to know that I think the YouTube one didn't go. Am I still streaming? I guess I am. I don't know what happened with YouTube. Anyway, oh well. Huh. Something's wrong. More things to figure out. I was going to YouTube to see to look at if there was a comment, but I'm not going to do it. I don't want to spend too much time on it. So let's go with this one. We're going to put a little bit. Now you can see here, I left the fluorescent pink in this pop palette that I'm using, and it stained it, which is pretty crazy. But it's strong color. It's a very strong color. I'm not going to be using that color. I'm going to be using this. Let me mix it up. What was his colors? I thought I had the picture open, but I don't see it. Let me look here. I have so many tabs open, it's ridiculous. I've got Twitch open on a billion things. Is it up there too? It sure is. Too many things open here. Yeah, it looks like we streamed 11 minutes on YouTube. I don't understand that at all. Oh well, next time. The downer is this won't automatically go up. I will have to do that again. Did I close it on the other thing? I don't get it. Okay, Marvel United photos. This, I am in the correct one. This is Immortus. Why are these not alphabetically in order here? Maybe they're by date or something. Because these came out over time. These, gosh dang it, these are over 2 years ago when this campaign happened. Wow, one picture of Immortus. Now the thing is they thankfully did a better job. I'm nervous about the other thing on this oh, it's green, he's green. I'm concerned about what's going on with they're doing a book that is a painting book, which isn't necessarily required, but they have not given us painted examples of all of the minis. That could be because, so I noticed that Big Child Creatives, the people that they contract out to do the minis and paint them for the stuff, they did a campaign for Hate recently that was a game that Simon did quite a few years back, I think. I don't know if it was during the pandemic or before. It was kind of a weird campaign too. Wow, that's a lot of paint. I probably put too much on there. I can make a couple of different wells of different amounts. And so the campaign ended. It wasn't one that was going to be in retail. I think they said they were basically only going to be selling it at events and maybe on their web store. But it went to, I guess, back to Big Child Creatives. And they did a fundraiser campaign on My Miniature Factory. So you can get the STLs. You can still buy the STLs, but they probably are giving you a better deal during that campaign to get the game. I don't need that game. I don't need any more minis. I don't need any more STLs right now. So I'm not certain what the goal was as far as that, just maybe to get it in people's hands. But they may not be working together anymore. I don't know. Or that they're just pausing, right? They're not developing any games right now. And they don't necessarily need anything except for maybe to finish the project. But I think all the DC United stuff has been molded, right? They have the molds. And they're manufacturing. So hopefully we will get some stuff and we'll see some of the things, but we're not seeing photos, which is a bummer. And the downer is, or maybe that's the thing, maybe Big Child Creative is busy, those folks that are working on that project are busy with the book. I haven't seen any updates about the book. And I can almost guarantee they're not going to have all 100 minis or whatever it is, probably 120 minis or so in that campaign, in that book. There's just no way. And that's a bummer. Like, I don't want to spend the time. You can use the cards. The illustrations on the cards are a good example of what you want your end result to be. So maybe you just do that. But I like having the painted minis for reference. And I mean, I've saved all of the art. And I don't know. I'm really kind of nervous about the whole thing. I really hope they get it all together. Wow, that might be it. I got some paint on the stones. I think I got some paint previously on the stones. So what this is supposed to be doing is helping improve your layering. So I basically started with a large swath of color painted with of the fluorescent paint, painted with it very thinly and wide. And then I kept adding more, but I would keep narrowing it down to brighten the intensity towards the center. It seems like it does a pretty good job. I do love the bright color, but this actually looks like it might be what we want. And maybe, like I said, you can do a little bit more and bump it back up. You can always just keep blending and blending. Like this highlight on his shoe is very strong. And I didn't want it that, but I knew I was going to be painting over it. I mean, I actually like the fluorescent highlight because it's the intensity, more comic intensity. You can see a little bit of banding here on my cowl that or collar or whatever the heck. It's not necessarily going away there. Heck, I feel like it's peeling it off right now. So that could be that I didn't put enough on it, but I will touch that up. It's not a big deal. It looks pretty good though. It's funny, it doesn't seem like it's a lot of color, but if you look at the color in the palette, it seems like there's a good amount, and it's clearly knocking down the intensity of that fluorescent purple. That looks great. It's still crazy berry color, right? It's really strong. Did I miss? I did miss some stuff over here. You definitely want to cover up as much as you can. You don't want to leave any of the, I mean, obviously I can maybe do a little bit of kind of edge brightness, you know, if I want, but I feel it's drying it, it's actually bringing it down to probably the right amount, but look at the difference, right? This does look smoother, and it isn't that much darker, ultimately, when you really look at it. So that's pretty awesome. And the collar thing isn't a problem. I'm not going to worry about it. I will say that it seems to absorb in the fluorescent paint quicker than the rest of the paint job here. Now that is a standard acrylic with fluorescent pigment. There may be something to, oh, look at that. I didn't even do a brightness in that under the cape coming out here. I kind of want to do that. Let me just do a little bit of this on the boot. Because what's that about a boot? I feel like this is the first one I painted. I do recall seeing a video by Vincent Venturella where he did something like this with standard acrylics, but he used a red fluorescent as the highlight and then knocking it down with a glaze of the regular paint was pretty cool. I mean, he's amazing. He's really a great painter. And I don't know what he does for a living. I know that he wasn't trying to make money from his YouTube, but he's doing it now. And I'm really happy because I felt like, number one, I felt he was underappreciated because I've been watching him for a long time. I mean, it's crazy how many of these painting YouTubers I've been watching since they were kind of small, right? The pandemic made a big change, which was exciting for that stuff. He then started to run a Patreon and things like that, which I think is smart, especially considering how much painting he does. He supposedly paints like, I don't know, a lot of hours a week. It's crazy. But he's very good, and it really shows the effort he has put in. I'm running out of paint here. I don't think I painted the top of the helmet on the other one. I need to do that, I think. It will knock down that color quite a bit because it's very, very, very lightly highlighted on here. Okay, I need to make a little bit more, which is fine. It's not going to be that different. A little bit of this. What sets did I get from DC? I got the whole thing, Tragedy 65. I got it all. That's what I've done every time. I always start like I'm just going to get the main game and get the stretch goals with it, and then I end up just going all in. And I was not going to do the DC one, and then I just caved and went all in. So I've already spent over $500. I honestly really hope that they do deliver it. It would be a real bummer. Wow, I made a whole bunch more of this paint and I don't need it. But yeah, I got it all. I've gotten it all on all of them. Now I don't necessarily have everything. I did get Witching Hour from Amazon. I already backed it on, I think they did that as a pre-order. I don't know if they did it on I don't think they did it on GameFound or anything like that. But I just wanted to have one. I didn't even think about this was before they announced that they were letting go a lot of people in the creation portion of the company. I mean, it doesn't mean they're all gone, but I mean, you let them go and it's likely you're not going to get them back. And I know, so we know Eric Lang and he worked there and he really loves that team. He has not been there for a few years though. He actually, he said he just had he was kind of done for now with really heavy games, working on really heavy games, because it was, I think Ankh wore him out a little bit. I mean, I know he's not done with it, but I understand totally. And he's now doing stuff with Hasbro. I don't know exactly what that relationship is, but he's done one game, and I think he's got something else coming soon. That looks great. Let's see what they look like, both of them. But yeah, I get all that stuff. I'm a lunatic. Really is crazy. You shouldn't spend that much on it. So when I got the second wave, it was just a giant pile of boxes. And I tweeted out, I'm like, is this my game collection now? Because it is just gigantic. And now I have 3 sets, and I'm going to have a 4th. And you know what I really want, because I'm a Star Wars nerd, is I want Star Wars United. I want it so badly. I know that, so the word is that, see, one thing that this does is it's drying. This paint dries, and this is a whole bunch of the purple up here. Not a whole bunch, but purple up here, which just standard cleaning is not taking that out. And I was barely painting, right? I don't know what the deal is with the resins or whatever they use on the Army Painter speed paints, but I do like them. I'm definitely a contrast paint fan. I wanted this purple I'm using was better than the choices I felt that I had for what I wanted on in the speed Army Painter speed paints. But I hope that they pull through on all this, because I really do like their stuff. You know, they're on the stock exchange in Singapore, I believe, Simon, and so there's investment, and maybe that's, I mean, I don't know. You know, they're very honest. They give their, I mean, as honest as you can be, right? They give their financials, they do reports, they do presentations, I believe. I mean, the same with Embracer and Asmodee, and so they got to tell their investors what's happening. So hopefully it'll, you know, they let them, they said there'd be a disappointment. You know, everybody's going to be taking a hit for profits at this time, right? Because you can't, right now it's too expensive to bring, for most companies it's too expensive to bring the product in. I mean, Jamie Stegmaier is suing the US about that because he can't, it's gonna kill him, right? It's the amount of money he owns on the O's is basically 1.5 times whatever he has produced, and there's a ton of these companies where that it's very so there's I guess there's been a big effort from in China to store, like they've now got warehousing to try to help the companies. So you're waiting on White Death. I did see that. Scott actually got that. I was in his house when we were there. DC United and Cthulhu. Is it the Cthulhu Death May Die stuff, the second wave or something like that, or third wave? I'm still waiting. We did on our show, December with Deborah, December 2023, we did Cthulhu Death May Die Dark Providence, which was the Martin Wallace and Travis Chance redo of Study in Emerald that Martin Wallace did, and it's it's in the Death May Die universe, and my gosh, we loved it. I think Deborah killed us in that game. They were telling us they would get us a copy. I really wished, well, here's the deal, it's not shipped. I may not even ever, who knows if we'll get it. I hope so, but it's been a long time. It was going to be a while, but I think they're like 5 months or 6 months behind maybe, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention because I didn't back it. It was a pre-order, not a campaign, not a Kickstarter or GameFound. This DC United was super successful, so they probably have, I mean, they're going to try to deliver everything. I'm pretty sure of all that. That's the only way they're going to really survive. So hopefully we'll get everything, and there'll be some more I mean, they never did tons of updates. They do a lot of updates, but they mostly do them, I think, monthly to tell you where everything's at, and I'm pretty certain we've gotten one recently. I just wish they would, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with the painted part. And it's been that way since that campaign closed. So I want to see the painted minis. I'm very disappointed that we during the whole thing of Marvel United Multiverse, they would send out till they had painted examples of everything, I believe. I'm not 100% certain that's true, but I believe it is. So I don't know. Yeah, these still look pretty bright once the paint has dried. So this is probably the way to do it. I don't think I'm going to add any more on these as far as to pop it out with more pink. I probably will do a little bit more on this guy one of these two, yeah, this guy didn't have a little bit in his cloak, but I don't know if it's necessary either in his cape underneath. It does seem like I could do another. I feel like I did more on the outside on this one and less on the inside. But yeah, you can keep doing it. You know, layering's, it's very thin amount. It's not going to be a lot. Now, these aren't really super highly detailed, but you're not going to lose any detail. DMD seasons 5 and 6. Wow, 5 and 6. I didn't know that went that far. We have the mini, the gigantic mini, and the expansion for that, but we don't have any of the game. I would love to. I mean, I want to paint that. I don't need to paint. Scott has at least a couple of those. We have one that's painted by Rob Oren on, what is Rob's channel called? He did a really nice job on it. Where are we at time-wise? I do have to call my mom time, and it is hot. It's really warm in here. 7. Another half hour. Okay. Whew. Yeah, Scott backs a lot of that stuff, so he has a lot of those. So this guy's got none of the highlights yet. He does have a little bit that he needs to, I need to do right here. So I'm going to just try to smooth that out and get that color even on here. Now, I did this very quickly. I think I did it on the stream, and it tends to, you got to work quick, and you tend to maybe miss some stuff occasionally. So you can see there was some pooling here of the color, and that's one of the things you got to watch out for when you use these kind of paints. So what I tend to try to do is just smooth it out so you don't see it as strongly. And I'm using some of this wash, so. Now I'm not going to paint the color that I want there, you know, the fluorescence, so I don't have to let this dry completely before I start painting. But I want to try to even that out a little bit. There is a little bit, it looks like paint, and that might have been primer, a little dollop of paint there that kind of, it's not really noticeable, so it won't matter, but that's me though. Always seeing the stuff. Green and purple, huh? And gold. Interesting, I've forgotten about that. I'm so obsessed with the color of the yellow stuff. I mean the purple stuff, it's great. Let that dry for a second. So, let's make some of the pink, the purple fluorescent. I cannot leave it in this palette. I've already put it in the purple ones that had it. So yeah, I have the colors. There's a fluorescent pink. I have the full set of their colors. There's the fluorescent green, fluorescent red, and fluorescent orange and yellow. It's sad that fluorescent blue does not work well. I mean, I've purchased some fluorescent blues over time. They're not good. And it's a bummer because I sure would love to have a color like that that has that intensity. I don't know if it's just that the pigment is kind of weak. What brush should I use to do this? I probably could use, this was a big one here. This was a 5. I'm going to use this 4. I think it's 4. I think that's what I used. It is a 4. Which guy? The one I'm working on right now? This is Marvel. This is Immortus. He was in wave 3 of the minis. I don't know anything about him. He's cool. I mean, that's why I picked him out. He's in the first 10. You know, I think I didn't know everything in each of the boxes. I remember the first wave had Taskmaster, and I didn't know who that was. I'm not a crazy comic book person. I actually am more DC than Marvel, but I do like the Marvel movies quite a bit. Nikki is a huge fan, and although she's into DC stuff too, so I don't know. So I think I did this on the wet palette. Now I'll tell you this, you can see a little dark spot right here. This is mold underneath here. Like, I'm very disappointed that it, I mean, you know, I left it out. These things supposedly help with that, but not really. I think and you know, I don't usually have that problem here quickly, but if I refrigerate it, everything's fine, and I just blew it. I should have absolutely put it in the refrigerator and just ran out of here to eat dinner and call my mom. And generally, I'm lately been trying to call my mom in here, but so that I can, while I'm cleaning up, I can talk to her for a bit. But I'm disappointed. Like, I do have another sponge, but it's supposed to be pretty mold resistant, but clearly not. Now, again, I left it out here like at least 2 days, which is just dumb. I would stick it in, we have a little refrigerator out here in the studio, but it's tiny and it would be very close to the freezer part. And I think it, you know, because one of those little tiny apartment ones, you know, like dorm ones. And I don't want to freeze the paint. I know that's not good for it, or the palette. And actually, it's got to be defrosted. Today, I'm like, oh man, I haven't had to do this kind of thing in forever, because we have you know, it's not really, your refrigerator is not frost free. It just does its own defrost cycle. Look at that. Looks like there's, let me see how I did that on those. I didn't really do a lot there, and it probably should have a little bit of pink on the, this ring of the cloak here. It's very, kind of look at how there's a big opening here, and then a huge more bit of fabric. So I use standard water. I use distilled water. I mean, that's not standard water, but I use distilled water. Not all the time. I don't really worry about it too much, but when I do this kind of stuff, the glazing, I definitely do it. I don't even remember how thin it needed to be. Sorry, let's get this out of the way. Not enough paint on that palette for sure. I'm going to be making some more very quickly. The good thing is I'm not mixing a color. I'm just creating an intensity, right? And so it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't need to know the formula really. So I basically, you know, you get it on there and then you don't touch it. Like any paint, you really should just let it dry, because if you disturb the membrane that is developing, it just gets messed up. And it's hard. I'm very bad about like letting it go, and then I tend to overwork the stuff. You don't need to do that on this. It's just a glazing. But you can see it's barely any color. I have a tendency to not go far enough into it. Like, I'm going to be layering it forward, so I want it to be kind of white on the first go. I don't want to go into the dark recesses, but I want it to be white enough that it'll give you a little bit of pink, hint of the pink, you know, the bright fluorescent purple, and then get to a real intense. I was saying I didn't have enough, but I probably have close to enough for this first coat. You can see already though it's drying, and you can see like it's kind of a strong line there. You saw though the coating actually does a pretty good job of smoothing that out, so I don't have to worry about it too much. Probably not enough water there. Or it's very dark on this underside, so it might be just showing up better. Wow. I want to wick this out of here because I don't want it to be super strong on that fold. Oof, look at that. Don't touch. Again, it's thin. I can bump it up a little bit. Now look at that little dot. I don't know if you can see it. That's still drying. It always makes me worry, and then once it dries, it's actually pretty smooth. So you don't have to worry too much. Oof, popped him right off with my finger. I'm excited to see what the nominees are for the SDJs this year. It's so the jury, some of the members of the jury are coming to BGG Spring, and they'll bring the newly nominated games. They are nominated the weekend before our convention, which is very strange, the timing wise every year. They did not, I don't think they announced them that way last year. I don't remember what the, it's their own group of people, so they got to do what they got to do. But I think there was some people that weren't available that weekend, so they announced them later. And so they didn't come to BGG Con, which is a bummer because it's great. It's really great for us because we like to cover those games, and if we play them at the con, we don't need to. We do need to get the games, but we don't have to. The pressure on us to get everybody to play it, because not everybody can be involved in every game, and that not every game has high enough player count. But it is really exciting that they'll be there, and they'll have all the nominees. So we'll play them all. Christoph, who's a member of, actually he's part of both juries now. He is the head of the children's jury, but they expanded the role, I think, to just have some more votes maybe on, because I asked about it. And they said that he was going to be, he and one other children's jury member will be part of maybe the play testing and stuff of the nominated games. You know, Christoph is really very good about, he's really good with those schools. He goes and has like schools that know what he's doing and have him come in and teach the kids games, and they learn how to, he sees how they play the game and determines like if it ultimately is a good nominee. He does that. I mean, they do a lot of that prior. He may not do as much of it after it's nominated. But I'm eager to see what they did. Last year they picked, the SDJ was Sky Team, which we liked. And the SDJ was, Kenner was Daybreak was the name here. I think it was called E-Mission in Germany. That's a Matt Leacock and Matteo Menapace design. And the kids' game was Magic Keys, which I really liked. Was impressed with that one. Did the music stop? I hear birds. I guess I just clicked something. Let me do it up here though. That's fine. And you can see it's starting to build up already. That's just 2 coats. Wow, that's got something on it. Not perfect, but pretty good. And it'll get brighter and brighter, and then I'm going to knock it right back down. These go look pretty good. Ow. It's too bad this is 2 streams. Let's see if I can actually get it's stopping the stream on the one. I hope it's okay on the other. I don't know. Let me do that. It's too bad that we went down. I don't know. Let's see if it'll work. I don't really. Derek's the one who really knows how this goes. But I think we've got it working. We'll see here. Maybe. It is streaming. Oh well. I'm sorry everybody, you missed out on YouTube. I don't know what happened. Let's see if it sticks here. But I've been working on the Immortus. I actually went in and these are the ones I had already painted, and I knocked down the intensity of the purple fluorescent paint a little bit, and it still looks pretty great bold-wise. Now, this one here is just getting started. I did not paint this one at the same time. I don't remember why. I guess I did one then the other anyway, and then just got carried away. I do need to mix a little bit more. I'm using the Pro Acryl fluorescent purple paint. I really like it. I guess I'm really not needing that much. I'm doing a pretty good job here because I just used it all up to do that first layer, and I will be doing more. It's going to go quite a bit before it's done. Interesting though, I didn't have to stop the other stream. I like that. Very exciting. I wished I'd noticed that earlier. I'm getting near the end of the stream, but I will go a little bit longer. I'm feeling better, but I'm tired. We just did not get enough rest. I went to bed late. We actually were trying to figure out some social media stuff, which is just not fun. Instagram is a challenge. I just don't have the time to really think about it. Now, Nikki has done a lot of work with it, and so she helped me get it together and figure out what I needed to do. I use scheduling software because I cannot be, although I did it today, and that's one reason why I didn't sleep well, because I knew I had to deal with it. But you have to, Instagram, you can't post it till it's live. And I'm not really certain why that's an issue. Like, so what they do on the software the program that we use, or the service we use on, it's a web thing, is we have several social media outlets programmed in there. And they, that one, if you're doing a story. Now, if you do Instagram, the problem with doing just straight Instagram is links don't work. So if we post, the things I post are videos from us, or the how to plays, or the in focus, and you need those links. I mean, you don't have to, like, people can figure it out, but it's definitely easier, and engagement's going to be more likely if you put the link in. And so to do that, you have to do it in a story, and stories absolutely can't be programmed, which is a downer. And so you program it in, and what it does is it reminds you. So at 10:30, I got a note, 9:30 our time, I got a notice, and I went in and programmed it, and it went. It was not easy. Like, we spent time putting it together last night, and ultimately you really just do it again. So I don't even know what the purpose of that really is. But it is nice that it reminds you, because I certainly would forget. There's a lot of elements of what we do, and I certainly wish there was a way that I could be reminded of all of those elements. Even though I know what I've been doing it a long time, but not every element. We keep changing more. We definitely do more social media posts with more outlets now. But so I did that today. It worked. I had to do new thumbnail designs for both of the Instagram things, and it was just like frustrating. You know, two different actual sizes. But I was able to put it together. I was actually kind of happy, like, oh, hey, this isn't too bad to do. I can build that thumbnail additionally, you know, it's fine. We already have to do two sizes as it is, because the BGG front page has a different aspect ratio, which is just frustrating for our posts. But it's fine. It's not that hard. Very cool. Gotta let it dry again. Now there's a big pool of it here. I don't like to leave it, but I also don't, like I said, don't. It's not the same here as like the contrast paints or even just standard acrylics. You do not want to play with them when it's a thicker consistency, because once it starts to gel and develop the film, you know, the skin essentially of the paint, you definitely don't want to touch it, because if you tear it, it's going to be a visible kind of bulk on the skin of the surface of the mini, and you just don't want to do that. And it also just ends up, you know, you're over applying the paint if you overwork it, like it gets thicker and not great. Look at that. See, now that's got a pool of the purple on the edge. Doing it on both sides. Not great. Now, this paint's pretty thin, so I can probably get away with just, you know, expanding it back out and not worrying about it. It's not that strong. What is my phone doing? We were at a restaurant that has pinball machines the other day, and they had advertisements for the that's kind of one of the interesting things that Stern has, is they now have active internet connections on their machines to download ads for their machines and campaigns and stuff like that. And they had the video for the Kong, and I kept thinking, oh, it's here, but that they didn't have it yet. I think I think right now they're just shipping the LEs, so it's not going to be. Now the place we go actually has often buys LEs, but doesn't go to the store we are nearby. It's a Korean barbecue restaurant. It's really cool. But we're eager to play it, so they'll probably have the LE over at the other store soon. But the cool thing about it is a design by a newer designer. He's been there for a few years now, probably 8 years, I would imagine. One of the newer designers, he did Kong, Godzilla, which is one of our favorites. It's actually, I think, Nikki's favorite machine. Well, I don't know. I think it's her favorite machine. It's the one she wishes we had. It looks interesting. I'm very eager to play it. Kind of better to have multiples of these going so that you can do the platoon painting, a bunch of stuff at once. But I've already done the other two. I wonder what that is. Let me put a little bit of this darker color that's still left on here. That seems like a problem with the original paint job. Not that you're really going to see it, but anyway, I do wish that this had worked better. We lost YouTube 11 minutes in, and I don't know what that's about. That's why it's good to have Derek on, but watching it. But I don't want him to have to deal with the miniature painting streams. It's another stream to do in the week that he's got other things to do. We did announce the Golden Geek Award winners yesterday, and the whole team did introduction videos for each of the categories. So it was Nikki and I did two-player game of the year, and we did thematic game of the year, and we did medium game of the year announcements, which was fun. We had Steph Hodge do some, we had Derek do some, we had Candace, and we had I was actually shocked that Candace did not do the heavy game of the year. But she did War Game and stuff like that, so it was cool. As a matter of fact, it was Steph that did the heavy game. Steph Hodge that did the heavy game of the year award. I'm not even sure I don't know. She's definitely she's a super omni gamer. Does just all kinds of stuff. So it was cool. Turned out pretty well done. So the other way you could do this, and it's probably the smarter way to do this, is just start in the middle and go out to build up your highlights. because you know you're progressively adding more and more to that center highlight, which is what you want. It's absolutely a good way to do it. I just did not do that. I don't know I am tired. I can't even remember if that's what I did on the other ones or not. I kind of feel like I did it like this. Ah. I feel like I did do it the other way. I can actually go look. I have video evidence. I can't remember if I did one of them off camera and then did the other one on camera. I know I did this way though. I definitely built the edge of this up slowly, so I don't know. It's funny how weird this looks on camera. The colors, I mean the fluorescing is interesting. Ugh, I got it on his hand. Touch that up with some gray. I feel like it's taking a little bit more, so I'm probably doing this backwards, which is fine. know if I'm doing as good of a job on the, it's got a lot, well, maybe I'm jumping in too soon to touch it. Hey. I might be not using enough pigment. Although it is getting brighter, so probably not enough pigment really though. Hey Chad. Hope you're doing well too. We're doing okay. Tired. Wow, I think I smeared that. Wonder if I did that by touch, or it was yeah, we filmed really late last night and I'm just worn out. And Nikki has to go to her mom's tomorrow to help out with some stuff, so I am tired. What time is it? I'm probably done. It's 7:45. Oof, it has been a long time. So we will be probably streaming. I don't know if we'll stream again. I'll stream probably another paint stream on Tuesday. Nikki has a lot of work to do. And then I will maybe, so I'll stream on Tuesday another paint stream, and then Thursday we'll do a stream, and then that's it for another week, a little over a week. Thursday we'll miss Tuesday, and we'll miss Thursday, and we'll miss Tuesday. And I'll probably do a paint stream when we return. So it's a bummer because we have a bunch of, we actually want to, I've been wanting to play the 365 days dungeon die thing, which is fun. I definitely needed to let it dry. It looks cool. It is interesting. I do like painting multiple minis. It's very cool to see how, I mean, they're different, but they're close, you know, close enough. This one actually is not as smoothly blended here. I wonder if I need another coat of, I did mix more, so, and this is running out a little bit here. Let me just put a tiny bit of water in there. See if that'll help. Tiny bit of water, it's a lot. I don't want to knock these down too much, but I do want a better transition. Now, they looked similar when I started, so I don't know what's happening. Oh yeah, I didn't do that. I wanted to do that kind of balloon of the cape there. Let that dry. It's almost dry. tendency to overdo it on the when you go over the different shapes of the volume. Excuse me. That is still not dry. Cool. I overdid it at Spring Virtual Flea Market this year, but I'm getting loads of minis. Well, I'm excited. I can't wait to see what you got. I am not doing any of that. I will go to the flea market, and there is the whole... So at BGG Spring, we have a charity sale where games from our library and games that Nikki and I have shipped back will go on sale for a charity, a local Dallas charity that is actually bigger than Dallas now, but it's worth it. Will this cut? I don't know. You know, that could have been part of the problem too. I don't know. It's not doing it. But I'm done for the day. It's a great charity. Scott and Michelle have been and actually eaten it. It's a restaurant called Cafe Momentum, and it gives at-risk kids a career. Kids that are, you know, drugs and gangs, and it teaches them a career. Teaches them everything about working at a restaurant, including working on the in the kitchen, right? Like, it's a very high-end restaurant, and it's supposed to be really good. I'm surprised we haven't gone there yet. One time, but it's not exactly close, I think, ultimately to where we are mostly at when we're in Dallas, but it's really awesome, and they've been doing it for quite a few years now, and they give, you know, $10,000 to $15,000 at each one of these events or something like that. It's great, and it's tons of great deals. It basically starts out at like $15 or $10 per game. There are some higher, you know, like really cool items in there that they'll pull out, and those are more expensive. But everything goes to charity, the whole deal, and it's really great. Yep, that's Chad putting it in there, cafemomentum.org. It's really great. It's a really great... let me see if I can do tab here, because I can't see this stuff. I don't know. This stuff is crazy. But it's really worth it. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm in the wrong computer. It's worth going. It's actually one of the best parts of the event. And then, of course, Chad is mentioning the flea market, the virtual flea market, which is great. I don't think I've ever done any of the... I think Aaron's going to be at the con, and he, I believe, is in the virtual flea market buying games. Amanda from Amanda Panda, who's on our streams, are on our BG front page. She had one earlier today. She's going to be there. It's her first BGG con. She's gone to lots of cons, but she's never been to BGG con, so that's going to be great. Excited to have her there. Brothers Murphy are going to be there. I think Jamie and Jeff from Foster the Meeple will be there. But yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. If you're there, come say hi to us. We'll be there. We're going to try to play. Actually, Nikki wrote the Brothers Murph and wants to play Thunder Road Vendetta, because she had a really good time playing it on the show, and so we're going to do that. That'll be fun. And then I don't know what else. Who else I was saying that I need to see? I did not hang out with Benita at the gathering. I'm really bummed. We said hello at one point, but we just ended up not. I don't know what the deal is. We were not there long enough. That's really the ultimate thing. And that's a fun convention because it's kind of a industry sort of one, where usually it used to be really that, where we would see people that we would just wave to throughout the year, and then during the week or is it 9 days? In April, we would get to play games and hang out and go have dinner and stuff like that. Not as much business goes on there, but there's definitely business that goes on. And so it was kind of a bummer, but oh boy, I tell you, I definitely want to rest. I'm hoping that we have to film on Saturday. We have to get some things done while we're gone. But I'm gonna try to take it easy. I'm gonna go to bed early tonight and try to stay in bed. I was up so late. I think I was up till 1:30 last night, and I was up at 6 a.m. or 6:30 or something like that. So I'm hoping what we filmed yesterday turned out good. I felt tired, which was unfortunate, but it'll be good. I ended up getting season 2 of Gotham City Chronicles. Oh wow, 2 for $50 and an all-in Oathsworn. Nice. I just don't want any more minis. Record some tidbits weekend. Oh, nice. Yeah, Chad has a video out there on how to use the geek market that we just put up. That's really good and helpful. People, I feel that Chad is correct. We're going to have a lot more folks using the geek market and eBay probably as well to get games if there's truly a shortage of games coming in. It's really an unfortunate mess right now. I hope that things change. You know, it's strangely punishing. You know, I understand the desire to have more manufacturing in the United States. I just don't feel this is the right method to get there quickly. I don't think you can actually get there quickly. So we'll see. I'm not an economist. I don't know. But you know, there is manufacturing in the U.S. There is a branch of German manufacturer called Ludefact. They have a U.S. one in like Terre Haute or something like that, or Indianapolis, and they supposedly do good work, but not as great and not as much volume, right? And definitely not as inexpensive as China. That's the crazy problem. It used to be kind of a frustration when publishers would use China because they just weren't as good, in my opinion. But now they're phenomenal. The teams there are trying very hard to give you what you want, and it's pretty impressive. And it's a truly unfortunate situation that we have developed a reliance on that, and I don't know what they're going to do. I hope they can figure something out. Anyway, you guys take care. Have a great weekend. Hey, Cersei, I see you chatting as I'm just getting ready to go. Hey, Cirque du Soleil. Well, you missed us earlier because you wouldn't have been able to see it. The YouTube stream stopped for some reason. I don't know what happened. Like 11 minutes in, the YouTube stream stopped. But I will be back. I'm certainly going to be back on Tuesday, and I'll do a painting stream. And then, as I said, we'll probably do a game night stream on Thursday. We might have a guest for that. Honestly, I want him to come up. Siri is so bizarre. I'm more interested in having him over on Saturday if we could, so I need to write him. But you guys have a great weekend. Take it easy. Stay healthy. and hope to see you again next week. Check out all the stuff that we've done. We have the Golden Geek Awards up and announced all the winners for that and the nominees. I think the nominees were already out there. Yeah, they were, because you were able to vote. I voted. I think that was middle of April. And then check out our latest game night. We did one with Amanda and Jackie Fox for Gnome Hollow, which was a very good game, really fun. And you take care and play some fun games and let me know what you played. Okay, everyone, let's see if there's somebody we can raid. I hope so. Wow, why is this? Oh, you know what? I'm not used to this. I'm on the wrong. I'm on the wrong page. So I need to go to Creator Dashboard, Stream Manager. It's all this. It keeps getting deeper. Hey, that's the call my mom thing. So it is 8. Let me snooze that because I will forget. Let's see if we can raid somebody on Twitch. YouTube folks, if you want to join us over here, you can, and we will. What was that? I don't know what the heck that is. Let's see what we're following. That's what we want to do. FinSpan. Ooh. Let's do Board at Home. They're doing FinSpan, which we want to play on the show. So we're going to raid them. Why don't you say hello for me? And take care. Again, have a great weekend. If you want to join in on that raid, just click on that and go. And again, say hello for me. Everybody, you take care. It was really great seeing you all. And thanks for the chat and everything. Bye, everybody. Thanks, YouTubers. Sorry that you can't go join that raid. It's definitely worth going on Twitch for this. It's super fun. It's one of my favorite things about raids, about streaming. But you guys take care and have a great one. Bye, everyone.